They thought breaking her rifle would break her spirit. They were wrong. It happened on a cold morning, where breath turned to smoke, and silence carried more weight than words. Sergeant Lena Hayes stood in front of her shattered M24, the weapon she had spent years mastering, the one that had saved lives. Now its scope hung loose, the barrel dented, and the stock cracked straight through. Around her, a group of recruits snickered, proud of their lesson for the woman who, they thought, didn't belong behind a sniper's trigger. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Lena didn't shout. She didn't demand justice. She just looked at the broken rifle, then at the men who had done it, and whispered, "You'll regret that." Her voice was steady, too calm for their comfort. They stopped laughing. That night, in the dim light of the maintenance tent, Lena worked alone. The desert wind pushed through the fabric walls like restless ghosts. Her hands trembled from anger and exhaustion, but every bolt, every adjustment, every breath became a prayer to precision. She scavenged spare parts from wrecked rifles, reshaped the cracked stock using epoxy, and reattached the bent scope mount using nothing but wire, grit, and quiet defiance. By dawn, the rifle looked like a wounded creature stitched back to life, imperfect, scarred, but alive. The next morning, the commander announced a field challenge: 50 targets, spread across the valley, different ranges, varying winds. The same recruits who mocked her stood nearby, polishing their untouched rifles. Lena stepped forward with her battered M24. Murmurs rose among the soldiers: disbelief, pity, even smirks. "Hayes, you sure that thing can even fire?" one man called out. She chambered a round without answering. The metallic click cut through the tension like a warning. The signal fired. The first shot echoed, clean, perfect, and devastatingly accurate. The target dropped, then another, then another. Each bullet carried the weight of humiliation, resilience, and silent rage. Her fingers moved like rhythm: inhale, hold, release. Wind correction, breath control, muscle memory, 50 times. By the 30th target, no one was speaking. By the 40th, no one was breathing. When the final shot rang out, the last target shattered into dust. 50 hits, no misses. With a rifle that should have been scrap metal, silence stretched across the range until one of the young soldiers finally whispered, "How did she do that?" Lena looked up from the scope, eyes glinting beneath her cap. "Because you can break metal," she said softly, "but not resolve." The commander stepped forward, expression unreadable, then slowly he saluted her. Around him, one by one, every soldier followed. Even the ones who broke her rifle lowered their heads. That night, as the sun sank into the red dunes, Lena sat alone again, not in anger, but in peace. The broken rifle rested beside her, patched, scarred, and shining in the dying light. She ran a thumb along the crack in the stock and smiled. Sometimes, she thought, the things that break us are the ones that make us sharper. Weeks later, those same recruits would tell her story to new arrivals, not as a tale of defiance, but as a legend of endurance. And the old M24, it was never replaced. It stayed with her till the end of her service, a reminder that strength doesn't come from perfection, it comes from persistence. Because courage isn't loud, it's the quiet decision to try again when everyone's already left the range. And in the silence that followed her final shot, the desert seemed to whisper her truth back to her. They thought breaking her rifle would end her story, but it only made her aim truer. If this story moved you, don't forget to hit subscribe, leave a comment, and share your thoughts below. Every story here reminds us: resilience isn't rare, it's just rarely seen.